Well, welcome to another big blade review. You know, we love big blades over here at the channel. And we are really excited today to give you a video and review on the Tops Yacare 10.0. That's what we are looking at here. What's really exciting about this is not only the design, but also the designer. The designer is the main marketing director, Craig, over at Tops. He's never designed a knife before. This was his very first dive into that. You know, they do a lot of different designers, and many of the guys that own Tops, like Leo and stuff, you know, they're always designing new things. And so it was awesome at SHOT Show to see that Craig was designing his very first knife. So I was really pumped for that. Craig's a really cool guy, really nice guy, and really interested in the design. Then on top of that, you know, we're seeing a really cool, elegant blade, not a blacked out or anything. You know, we got like a nice gray coating on here. We've got really huge, massive belly on this really nice full tang chopper, small machete. You know, I mean, that's what we're looking at here. It's basically a short machete. Taken from one of the designs in South America that Craig, when he was down there doing some of the bushcraft global with Joe Flowers, he saw these being used from what I understand, and you know, he was like, you know what, I want to design one myself, make it a little more heavy duty, be able to use not only in the jungle but out here like where I am in the Rocky Mountains and where Tops is located up north. You know, and that's the heart behind that. That's the design behind it, and definitely giving you a really massive chopper. So really looking forward to showing you what this thing can do and whether or not this is going to be the right big blade for you. So let's go ahead and get to it and see what this design can do for you. So we'll go ahead and hit some basic dimensions and then start talking about actual performance here. Now, this is made in the US out of 1095 high carbon steel. Tops has been using that for years. They do a great heat treat. Been very happy over the years using many Tops knives with not only the edge retention but performance that they offer. Now this is going to have kind of a gray, kind of like almost acid wash on it, which is really nice. Wears very well. This is after all the chopping, batoning, and feather stick making and everything that we've done with this. This has been wearing very well. Very happy with that. And they call it, acid rain wash is what they call it on this. The handle scales are black canvas micarta. Now, the overall length is 15.5 inches. Overall blade length from handle to tip is 10.25 inches. The actual cutting edge is 9.8 inches. We're going to discuss all that throughout this video. And finally, the thickness is 0.19. That's nice to see. I think that's a great thickness for this size and style of machete, you know, chopper. 1/4 inch is good, but sometimes can be a little heavy and a little cumbersome on the finer work. So the 0.19 is great. And then finally, on the weight, the knife itself is 17.7 ounces, and with the sheath, it's 25.4 ounces. So that 17.7, basically 18 ounces, great, you know, balanced weight for this size range. You're going to see that with a lot of other knives. We're going to run in some here in just a second. This is as we start to move into performance, is very blade heavy on purpose. That's a good thing because the way that this massive belly works with this high saber grind, you can see there goes about 2/3 of the way up the blade. I love that they went saber and not full flat. I always prefer saber grinds on my larger wilderness survival knives whenever possible over full flat grinds. They seem to chop baton better. So super excited about that saber grind. And again, just to give you balance point, hopefully I can do it here on frame with you. The balance point is up here, showing you that it's definitely blade heavy, but that's a good thing. Now, when I first looked at this, you may be kind of like, oh my gosh, that's like a huge recurve, a cool belly, but man, is that gonna be really hard to sharpen? It's because of the actual angle of the handle, making it phenomenal for chopping, but actually really easy to sharpen. So when you hold it, you know, you got this massive kind of sweep down, huge belly, sweep up, one of the biggest bellies on any survival chopper machete I've ever seen. But when we line it up like we're gonna sharpen it, you can actually see that it's a straight angle right here into the belly. And so this would be very easy for you to resharpen, but it gives massive power for about 3 inches right here, which is phenomenal. So as long as you connect with your wood right there in the chopping, this thing is a beast when it comes to taking out chunks and chopping through, particularly, you know, like woods like we have in the Rocky Mountains, pine and aspen and, you know, some fir and like those type of woods. I mean, it was just like mind blowing, the chunking out with the saber grind and the balance and just the way that they've made this. So this is, in my opinion, particularly for woods use, a phenomenal chopper. Now that saber grind with that 9.8 inches is a phenomenal batoner as well. It's going to split wood like crazy, and I was really happy with the performance that I saw there. You know, you get it in and then just a couple pounds and you're going to split that piece of wood, and the way that Tops obviously always does their stuff, very tough, durable, and is going to be able to handle that batoning, you know, particularly like in winter months. I'm thinking, you know, you got wood that's been under snow, and you know, you need to get to that core to let it dry out real quick so you can get that fire going. This knife would easily split all of that type of stuff because of the saber grind and the 0.19 thickness. And finally, for the more, you know, fine-tuned stuff. Now, this is what I love about this knife, and what I love usually with most of Tops knives in general, is that they put a fantastic relief edge on this. So it doesn't chip out or roll with the harder use like batoning and chopping, but it has such a great relief edge. Feather stick making was a dream with this knife. I commented on it multiple times, not only in the backcountry where you see a lot of this footage, but also just in the backyard, prepping campfires and that type of thing. A lot of big knives don't come with great grind angles. You either have to reprofile it on a huge knife, is super annoying, or you just kind of have to live with it, and you just know you're not going to do a lot of feather sticking with it. This thing is a feather sticking machine, notching machine. You can do all of that type of stuff with this design because of the way that they've ground it in. And even though it's blade heavy, with that 1-inch ricasso right there, I can choke up, and then I have much more control over the knife. Feels very comfortable in my hand, and I could work a long period of time with those finer cuts on this knife. So feather stick making, notching, it's absolutely doable and better than most other knives on the market that are large in this, you know, size range that you will find. So very pleased with every aspect of the blade and how the blade performs with chopping, batoning, and then the finer detailed work. Phenomenal. Now I want to bring in two classic heavy hitters to discuss what the Yacare offers that maybe other knives do not. Now up top, I have the well-worn, well-loved, many years SE Hungalis, full size, love this knife, and then I have a tricked out BK9, all tricked out, and my aftermarket micarta and all that type of stuff. Now all three of these are 1095, all three of these are USA made, all three of these are gonna come with tricking out and modding, you know, depending on what you do, between the $170 and the $200 price point, just kind of, you know, anywhere, who, what, when, where, why, all that type of stuff. All full tang, all right around within about 2-3 ounces of each other, and all are going to come with micarta handle scales. All are going to give you good ergonomics. Some may have, you know, different preferences. I'm not going to go into a lot of the ergonomic aspect. You can decide that for yourself. You know, the SE Hungalis is going to have the biggest handle, so lots of grip angles and different things like that. The Yacare kind of has that one grip angle, and is a little bit on the smaller side. It's about the same dimensions as the BK9 in every way, shape, and form, but the BK9 is actually going to be a little rounder from what I've seen than on the Yacare when it comes to like the handle. That doesn't mean that the Yacare is narrower, painful, or anything like that. It's just things to note. So the handle ergonomics are pretty similar. You're going to get good grip on all three and be able to chop with all three without creating any hot spots from my experience. What I want to talk about is what the Yacare brings to the table that these other well-known ones do not, and it's the balance point with the saber grind and the massive belly. All three of those things working together to make this, when we're talking about heavy woods, and so I'm talking about like the Rocky Mountains, dense woods. I'm not talking about jungle where there's lots of greenery and you're going through vines and, you know, thin, you know, branches and that type of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about heavy duty hardwoods and, you know, pines and aspens, and you're chopping through that. The Yacare is going to be ahead of these other two, because with the Hungalis you have a very, very high saber grind, very high saber grind. It's almost a full flat, and the balance point is near the guard here. So what that means is that it's a good chopper, but it's not going to be as good as the Yacare, because the Yacare has that further forward balance point. It has that massive belly to connect with the wood, and then it has that saber grind all working together. So the Yacare is going to take out bigger chunks and go deeper into wood faster than the Hungalis will. It's same on the BK9. Even though BK9 has a lower saber grind, the balance point is more towards the guard here, and it just doesn't have anywhere near the belly that the Yacare does. And so the Yacare is going to be able to take out way bigger chunks faster with less swings than what you're going to get on a BK9. Now, the one trade-off with that is that the Hungulus as well as the BK9 will be better at the finer tasks, just in balance point, not in edge geometry, not in what they can do. It's just not going to fatigue your hand as quickly if you're doing feather stick making and notching and those type of things, just because the balance point is closer to your hand. So you're not having to fight against that weight wanting to go forward, and it's just fatiguing those small muscles in your hand. The Yacare can absolutely do that because of the grind angles and everything we've talked about and as you've seen, but the Hungulus and the BK9 will be better suited for that for longer periods of time. So you just need to kind of weigh that. But where the Yacare really shines compared to other blades on the market is in the chunking out of harder woods, just because of geometry, grind angle, and massive belly. So fantastic job in that arena when it comes to this Tops knife. So here's the sheath that comes on the knife. It has the potential to be decent out of the box, and what we're looking at, it is not. I understand that with the amount of knives that Tops carries, they can't do Kydex or leather for every single model. With some tweaking, this could have been very decent, but it's not, for a couple of reasons. One, barely used this thing. You can see the seaming is totally coming apart here. I can see the plastic insert here as well. Now, I've had a lot of Tops nylon sheaths. This is the first one that's ever done that on me, so this could have just been a fluke, but not impressed with that at all. Then we have these studs in here to hold it together. You know, you got your pouch right here. No molly on the back, not a big deal to me. Loop over design. You get your whistle. 2 eyelets here that you can run paracord or shock cord through, and then the Velcro right here. Now, this Velcro is not a good retainer of the knife. The knife totally flops around in there. I think with some modding, obviously, if this didn't all come apart, and if this had had more of a button snap loop over like we see on K-Bar Beckers and on a lot of Ontario knives, and it was closer to the guard, it would have been a little bit better setup. As it is, this is barely going to do anything for you, and if this is your go-to knife, upgrade it immediately to Kydex or leather, and you'll be much happier. So disappointed, I'm just going to say it. Love the knife, really disappointed with the sheath itself. Well, let's go ahead and hit the handle here. We got micarta, done really well. Nice machine, not blocky at all. Done very well. You have just very minor little valleys and hills right there. Nice guard, gonna definitely keep your hand in place. We got those white liners. And then we got a little bit of a hook wrapped around, and it came with the paracord right here, and which was perfectly set up to do the type of grip that I like to do, keeping your hand in place so the knife doesn't go anywhere, which is awesome. Now, there is a blank spot. It's not a designated choil, but there's like a 1-inch ricasso right there, so I could absolutely come up and do my finer carving tasks, because this is extremely blade heavy. It's supposed to be. It's a chopper. It's a machete. That's what it's designed to be. So the ergonomics allow you to choke up and get a little bit finer tasks done. It's still blade heavy, but it's doable when you do that, when you're doing finer stuff. For the chopping tasks, it definitely stays in your hand, gives you good grip, and particularly when you use that right here with this type of grip, you're definitely locked into place. The metal out the back here didn't cause any problems for me. You just need to be aware of that the lanyard hole is extended above the micarta because of just the way it's designed. I didn't really have any issues with it like biting in or anything like that, but I just wanted to point that out to you. I do have my large size hands here, as you guys all know, and so we got a good amount of space there. Very ergonomic, and it's going to stay in your hand for several swings before you need to reset, which is what you always want to see in a big chopper. So let's go ahead and hit price. As we've talked about, sheath, garbage. Really looking forward to something being upgraded with that. So the knife, you're looking at anywhere from 160 to 170 is what I'm seeing. And for the quality of Tops, you know, the machining, the design, the uniqueness, the heavy duty feel, you know, under $200, you're getting a USA made giant chopper with the quality that Tops always offers. So totally digging that price point. We'll have links in the description below, not only over to Amazon, which is a great way to always help support the channel, but several other places where I've seen these going for a little bit less. Right when I'm filming this, Amazon had it for like $200. Check the links below, it'll drop. Amazon always takes forever to drop their prices compared to like Blade HQ and, you know, Knife Works and those type of places. So I'll have some links below for you where I have seen this for about 160 to 170. I do want to thank Tops for the willingness to send this over to me to test out and review for you guys, to give you a comprehensive video so you can determine, are these the items in the design that will work best for me, or are there things that I'm a little concerned about or that I just don't want to hassle with. That's what I always try to do with you guys, and give you these comprehensive, honest reviews. And I do want to thank Tops for giving us the opportunity to do that for you, the viewers. So wrapping it up, folks, with this knife, after having taken it out multiple times, used it around the backyard here, friends, family, I totally dig this. For Craig's first design, he nailed it, knocked it out of the park. Great blade. Looking forward to seeing what else is in his mind and what else Tops produces with Craig. So fantastic, guys. I really dig this. I think you're going to get a phenomenal chopper that is really designed well for a lot of chopping. But then if you need to, it's got the grind angle to really get done some finer work if need be. So I love that aspect in its design, and definitely stands out not only in its just profile, and it's cool to get a different profiled blade, but then also in its chopping performance compared to all the other blades that we discussed and looked at. Obviously, as we talked about, and Craig knew it when we were emailing back and forth, he knew, he's like, dude, you're not going to be happy with the sheath. I'm not. And I really hope that Craig, Tops can come up with some other design, or just, you know, just do a better job with the nylon even. I get it, you know, that they have so many blades and it's tricky to do Kydex or leather for every single one. Just come up with a better, you know, sheath design in general. That's my only critique, as always. I thank you guys so much for coming over here today, checking out the channel. I really hope this video has helped you guys out decide if this is the right chopper for you. Check us out on all the relevant social media. That's a great way to see what's up and coming, things that we're working on, projects that are coming up, and another way just to connect with me and answer questions that you guys may have. I'll also answer the comments, questions in the comments below. Finally, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.